Welcome back to the next episode of PaperBoat, and we are starting today's episode in the air because in between episodes, I got myself proper armor and elytra. Now we are immediately flying here at the ballroom that I built last episode and where we organized a Hermitcraft costume party. Now, following the events of last episode, that being the big scam that took place at the costume party that turned out to be all just a ruse, it seems only fair that we come up with a new project. Now, if you ask me, those scammers really need to come to an end, and that is why today I will be starting a detective agency so that we can solve all the mysteries and the issues and capture all the villains on this server. So, this detective agency will be located in the shopping district where we are heading right now. And the shopping district is actually right by the beginning island where we all built little tents. And this is the place where the shopping district actually is. Now obviously the shopping district is not just this tiny island, and it actually expands all the way over there. So the map is divided in two, the starter bases are over here, and the shopping district is there. So, me and my good friend Tuhry, who will be helping me for this project, and you will understand why later, have decided to meet up now and we will start working on this project. So we are here at the shopping district because we have decided to build a detective agency together, right?
It's time. The server needs some order and some justice.
And our goal is to stop the scammers. Of course.
I hate scammers
yeah,
so
they're
much.
horrible people.
They really have to go, yeah.
So we have already picked a location, and actually material gathering is going pretty well at the moment. So
yeah,
what do you say we hop into a time lapse and get this office built?
Let's just get it done.
So we ended up choosing this spot right here, but it did mean that we had to tear up this whole mountain, so that's what you're seeing. As this was a pre-planned build, we actually decided to build from the ground up. And as you can see, it was very tedious to get all those blocks, different blocks on the first floor. So as you can see, this build is heavily inspired by Georgian and Victorian architecture, and it's like heavily inspired by the real place, Baker Street, and where presumably Sherlock Holmes lived. Now, as you can see on the left, there's a dark alleyway that goes to nowhere, and there's the main building in which there will be the office, and you will see that this little sign on the right is there for staircase. Overall, I think Tuhry and I did a great job at recreating this Victorian atmosphere with this build, so let's get inside now. Well, isn't it, my dear Tuhry Watson?
Holmes, how have I missed you?
I have missed you too, my dear friend. How have been your adventures? I feel like you have grown so old, my friend. You need to get back in shape.
Yeah, I feel my fingers trembling. I need to get something. I need to get some work. We have to solve some cases here.
Absolutely. Well, that is why we are here indeed, isn't it? Is there a specific matter you would like to discuss with me since you have come back at this peculiar time?
Well, since I came back here on the PaperBoat server to this specific island, I heard there were some scammers around that were scamming people, just trying to live their normal everyday life.
So I have heard too, my friend. I think we absolutely need to investigate this case, and actually the person who just joined, a certain Leo Phi, might just help us with that. Oh, while we wait for our guest, why don't you explain to me how you organized all those things in the attic? You know, I never come here when you're not there. Well...
What is this?
Well, I don't really want to talk about it.
Holmes, what have you been doing? I'm gone for a couple of weeks. What? What is this?
Oh, it was a long story. It's a mystery that I brilliantly solved. You have nothing to worry about, my dear Watson.
By putting a trident into a pig?
Indeed. It's a long story. I might tell
Oh.
it to you one day, so you can
Oh.
make it one of your short stories, you know.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hello.
Hi.
Welcome to 221B Scammer Street.
So we heard you had a case that needs solving. We heard there were some problems on this island that maybe our dear Holmes can solve for us all.
Well, it is only a rumor that I have heard, but are the scammers an actual group of bandits? And so we had our first client at the detective agency. It was Leofi, and he told us that a group known as the Scammers had been causing some problems, and especially during the Hermitcraft costume party. So Tuhry and I decided to go investigate at the ballroom where the party happened. Watson, how many scammers do you think there are? Because he didn't give us any information about the number of people that might be part of this organization.
By the sounds of the schemes they pull and the magnitude of their wrongdoings, there must be like a dozen of them, don't you think?
I do think so as well. Well, this place is not what I expected it to be.
No, it's beautiful though.
It's
This
a grand
architecture
place.
And what do you think all these hats mean?
Those seem to be costumes. Indeed. Well, my dear Watson, I have to say this one looks remarkably like yourself.
Really?
Do you have a
mean-
brother?
This mustache is subpar, don't you think?
But he does have your eyes.
And what do you mean what do you think these statues mean around here?
Well, they seem
Where
to
did
be
they
some
come
sort of
from?
tribute to certain people.
Ooh.
For specific people indeed. Now, I do not recognize this figure or this one. However,
No.
this statue here strikingly resembles a certain gentleman called Mono. Well, you see, I only see one person who has straight up grey hair like this white could suggest, and that is this head right here, which seems to belong to indeed a person called Grey.
That is a striking resemblance, Holmes. You figured it out. Do you think Ray could have something to do with this?
I do believe so. However, we have no way to interrogate this person.
I mean, I didn't want to say it, but this mustache, it looks trash.
Yeah, and it's indeed very suspicious to wear such a disguise.
There could be some more clues around here.
Oh, well, that is a very suspicious head, isn't it? Isn't that our client?
Ooh. I saw this man before. Yeah, he was just in the office.
That is indeed our client.
Do you think he has something to do with it?
Well, maybe he does. Maybe he isn't as innocent as he seems.
Didn't he say he wasn't there? Very suspicious.
Do you think he was hiding? He might have been
Do you
undercover.
think he knew?
I think
Very suspicious.
we need to do a little experiment here, Watson. Now, if this man were to wear a blue shirt and a mask,
Yeah.
don't you think he could perhaps resemble this statue here?
Oh.
I mean, the
My
hair do seem to
God.
match up pretty well.
And the eyes. Look at the eyes. They never lie.
Well,
You.
I believe this is our best bet for now. This maybe our client was actually undercover and dressed up as this statue here. Because this
This is a
person
very
is
sound
nowhere
theory,
to be
yes.
seen. Well, Watson, before we end this investigation and get back to 221B Scammer Street, there is one
Yeah.
last thing we need to check, which is right here, this stage. Oh,
There
would
should
you
be.
look at that? Is that
Ooh, what are
fingerprints?
those?
Well, they seem to be surrounding this carpet here.
They sure seem
Well-
like them.
If you would please remove it and step aside in case it explodes.
Okay, are you ready? Be careful. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Oh,
It seems like we are fine.
survived.
Would you look at
What's-
that?
Whoa.
It's a mushroom. Under the
brown
stage.
mushroom. Do you think the head scammer put it there?
Well, this is
The leader.
definitely a possibility.
But what,
Although
what
I
does
do
it
not know
mean?
why they would place a mushroom here. Well,
It's very
they
suspicious.
definitely made a mistake by giving us such a clue. Well, I think, Watson, we have made great progress regarding the identity of the scammers and what happened at this ball. Well, it feels good to be home, Watson.
It feels like I've never left.
Indeed.
Good to be back. Holmes, I really gotta say, this feels like it used to before. Feels like in the old days when we just started out.
It does indeed. Well, my dear Watson, I think I will be upstairs thinking about this clue. In the meantime, I shall see you another day.
Holmes, I hope your brain is successful. I'm gonna get some Yorkshire pudding. See you then.
See you, Watson. Well, this investigation will have to continue in another episode because my dear Watson has left me alone here in my office. Now, we did find a couple of very interesting clues, but nothing decisive that could accuse anyone in particular of being a scammer. But enough of being Hemming Holmes for today. Let's take off the Deer Stalker hat and be regular Hemming once again. Now, there are many things that we've put on hold for this episode to become Hemming Holmes and start to solve ridiculous mysteries. Now I'm flying this direction because there is something we abandoned this episode and last episode, which is my base, right over here at the north of the island. Now, for those who don't even remember this base, let's be honest, I kind of went away from it, and as you can see, the back is still absolutely unfinished. Oh my gosh, it looks like the wood is curving. Who has done this? This is extremely funny. It is literally not holding up this platform. But I can already hear you say, then if we're not really getting back to this base, what's going to happen next? Well, actually, the truth is that I have been spending all of my time on the server over here at the ballroom, and I've actually set up there. I've got all of my stuff right here, as you can see, and I've even started terraforming here a little bit with this little cliff and this path, and I've marked with this dirt pillar where I actually want my new starter base to be. I know, episode 3, still no official starter base then. But this starter base is definitely what we're going to be working on in the next episode and the future episodes, so we can finally get started and have a couple chests around here and a storage system and, well, you know, the things you need. Now, in between episode, I did get geared up pretty well because the situation before was really terrible. But unfortunately, this episode has taken me a very long time because the planning of Hemming Holmes' office was very long and time-consuming, and Tuhry and I really went all out with the interior, I think, so I'd love to know what you thought of it. So, I think this is where we're going to leave this episode, and we're going to come back soon with a new base and new plans for the rest, and hopefully we can figure out this case by becoming Hemming Holmes once again. So, I'll see you in the next episode.